And Mike Secreti, who lives across from them, kept hearing this. Mike! Somebody, I need help!
He didn't want to wake up Anita.
But it was, yeah, and so finally Mike went over, and there's Ed on top of the roof sitting there. I remember that too. And the other one that I remember is you were going to the emergency room or something, went to the hospital, and Ed was so shaken and rattled, he gave him Sheila's name. His first wife. What's your wife's name? Good. Sheila. And Anita's like, things like that we remember about Ed. He was so wonderful, and he was just so funny. He was always coming up with things like that. So we'll miss him.
Anyone else?
Anybody have anything else to say that they'd like to say?
So Anita and Jackie, Patrice, thank you so much for inviting us all here for the celebration, because it's absolutely right to celebrate Ed's life. And actually I have a hard time saying Ed because it was always Ed and Anita to me, and for me as a father and as a husband, he was a great mentor. For the 12 years that I was blessed to know Ed, and sharing his experiences and sharing his life, just really a wonderful guy that was a great example. The reason I'm going to play taps today is because Anita asked that I do this. But what most folks don't know is that that this will not be the first time that Ed has heard me play taps. For probably 10 of our 12 years at Brennan Beach, on Memorial Day, Ed and I would travel to Salve from Brennan Beach. We would typically pick up my father, who has since passed 3 years ago. My father is about 10 years older than Ed, but they became fast friends at this. And we would go to the memorial celebration that the Village of Salve and the Town of Gunness Veterans put on every year at Woods Road Park. And I would typically volunteer to play taps at that event. So for 10 times, Ed has heard me play taps. And this will be the 11th time that he's heard it. Also, so there was a lot of quality time in the car and quality time there, kind of away from Anita and away from everybody else at Brennan Beach, that I got to hear stories about Ed. And we'd drive through Salve. We'd make a tour of Salve every time. And he'd say, well, this is my brother Marty's house, and this is my other brother's house. And he would tell me the stories of him growing up. He didn't tell me about the stinky feet, but he did tell me stories about growing up and how much he loved his brothers, and how important his brothers were to him. But the apple of his eye and the most important person in his life was certainly Anita, and we thank you for sharing him with us all of these years. So in a second, I'm going to step back and behind Ed's tree and play taps, and I'd ask you all to just think about Ed in a really positive light, and let's honor him today for the great man that he was and the great spirit that he is as he continues to kind of be the spirit among us. We love him dearly.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Tony.
I can feel it.
This doesn't play that.